Well, hello, my friends. My name is John O'Leary, and if you're watching this video, it's highly likely that maybe you or a loved one, maybe someone you work with, or certainly someone you care for, was involved in a burn experience. And I wanted to share some of my own experiences after being burned as a child, a little bit of the recovery that might provide you a sense not only for what you're dealing with right now, but provide an awful lot of hope on what can still come next in your life or in the life of those that you are called to serve and guide forward toward their possibility. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of my story. I want to thank again my friends, Chesapeake employers, for the opportunity to share some of my life experience with you today in the hopes that it provides you an awful lot of encouragement and equips you to recognize it may not be easy, but your best days remain ahead. So at age 9, I witnessed in my neighborhood kids playing with fire and gasoline. What these little guys would do is they would sprinkle gasoline on a sidewalk, strike a match, throw the match on top, and it would jump to life. And I figured, like most 9-year-olds my age might have, I figured if these guys can do it and get away with it, so can I. Dangerous words if you're following the wrong crew. So that weekend, I was following the wrong crew right off the ledge. I walked into my mom and dad's garage. My mother's out with a couple of my sisters. My father's at work. The house is mine. You know where I'm going. Walk into a garage, bend over a 5-gallon can of gasoline, bend down next to this to pour a little bit of gasoline on top of the flame. I'm going to show you a picture of that can here in a moment, but I do want to make sure that you recognize these are going to be difficult pictures for some of us to look at. So you may want to shut your eyes just for a moment. But before the liquid even came out, the gasoline came out of that can of gasoline. The fumes pulled that little flame up into the can, created this massive explosion, split the can in two, and it launched me 20 feet against the far side of the garage. When we were little, we were all taught to stop and drop and roll. But that day, 9 years old, covered in gasoline, covered in flame, and surrounded by fire, I got scared. I panicked and I ran. I ran for my life. One moment, I'm a happy and healthy. And I'm going to zoom in so everybody can see live and clear right there in living color in front of you. I'll call it out, but you'll nod your head. Extremely good looking. But go ahead, man. Bangs that tight, turtleneck fitting just right. Little monogram sweater, Christmas tree was up. The stockings were hung on the mantle with care. Life was good. Life was good. And then life changed. And again, if you're watching this video, it's highly likely that either in your life or the life of a family member, maybe a coworker, someone you care for, life changed. And then what? And then what? The next picture will be difficult to look at. So you may want to shut your eyes just for a moment. But I found myself on my back with burns, no longer like this little guy, burns on 100% of my body. 87% of those burns were third degree. And I'm laying there and I'm scared and I'm panicked. And I remember looking up at the bright light with one very clear thought. And for me as a child, it was, oh my gosh, my dad is going to kill me when he finds out. I knew my dad was going to be furious when he found out. I got in trouble for far less than blowing up the family garage and house, okay? I knew my dad was going to be mad. I hear his voice down the hallway. Where is my boy John? And this nurse does me no favor. She brings him all the way back to where I'm resting. She pulls back the curtain. The old man walks in, points down, and then he says, John, look at me when I'm talking to you. So I look up at my dad. He says, I have never been so proud of anybody in my entire life. And my little buddy, today, this morning, I am proud to be your dad. And then he followed that with, John, I love you, I love you, I love you. And friends, that love did not make the next 5 months in hospital for me, the 9-year-old, easy. It did not make waking up from a surgery about a month and a half in without fingers easy. It did not make looking down every single day during those doggone bandage changes at my new body easy or pain free. But I think his love, I think that grace, I think that generosity of spirit made the journey possible. As you look in the mirror at changes in your own life today, or as you look toward a friend, a loved one, a coworker, it's really important that we look at that image, as we look at that reflection with an awful lot of grace, an awful lot of love, an awful lot of wisdom that says this too may not be easy, but we can get through this storm. We can endure this headwind. We can ensure that better days will remain in front of us. But we got to do that together. You can't do that one by yourself. It's one of the beautiful things about watching this video right now. You're not alone. You're not alone. You got an entire network now of individuals who are here to support you and to encourage you and to love you and to make sure that you know that you're not on your own. You're not on your own. There are others who've walked this path before you, and they're going to help you live into the truth that it won't be easy, but it's possible. It's possible. That was a message my dad and that team lived loudly with me on that first day in hospital, and then lived loudly with me over the next 5 months to come, all the way up to me eventually coming home from hospital. But it wasn't until I was getting ready to go back to school that that little boy had a conversation with his dad that would change my life one more time, because I needed that hug on the front step of all this. I needed that encouragement, that love from my father. But then eventually, I'd need tough love on the backside. And so I don't know where you are in your journey right now. You might be on the front side. You might need encouragement and grace and love and just a hug to say, man, you're not alone. But sometimes we also need kind of a swift kick in the backside saying, come on, fight forward, get up, move on, look ahead. You can do this together. You can do this. You can do this. My father, this great man, gave me both of those examples. Here he is now on the day I'm about to go back to school, and I'm so scared about the way people are going to look at my hands, and they're going to look at my wheelchair, and they're going to look at me being less than they are, and they're going to look down at me. I'm so convicted that I'm a victim to my circumstances. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Just ask me. Because my favorite question back then was, why me? Dad, why me? It's so unfair, Dad. Why me? Why me? And it's okay to ask that question. I know I asked it for a long time, but it's not okay to live there. It's not okay to stay a victim. If you came through the thing that you weathered in burn care, you aren't a victim, man. You're a warrior. You got a warrior's heart. Act like it. That's the encouragement that my father is about to give me, and he's about to give you too. So I'm in my wheelchair. I don't want to go back to school. I know everybody's going to judge me and make fun of me and mock me. I know it. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Look at me. I'm a victim. So I'm telling my dad all this. I'm 10 years old. I know which way's up. And my father, after listening to me and listening to me and listening to me, and it's been going on like this for like 10 months now, eventually he stands. He gets up. He shuts my bedroom door. He walks back over to me. Now I know I'm in trouble. He puts his hands on my legs, looks me square in the eyes, leaders, and he says to me, John, darn it. He used a different word, but I'll use that one today. John, darn it, you can be a victim to what you've been through for the rest of your life, and there's nobody that's ever going to blame you for it. You've been to the worst, man. You've been to the bottom of the well, and somehow, miraculously, you bounce forward, and here you are today. It's a miracle. It's a gift. And if you want to be a victim to what you've been through, I understand, and so will everybody else. And then he said, or, John, you can choose to be a victor. You can choose to rise up. You can choose not to be determined by what you've been through, but instead be aspirational to where you want to go next, the kind of life you can have. And John, if you choose that, if you choose to be a victor in any room we roll you into, or eventually, John, you're going to get out of this wheelchair, in any room you walk into, people will look up to you. People will be in awe of all you've overcome and all that you're still doing with your life even today. And then he looked at me and he said, John, victim or victor? It's your choice. With that, my amazing father leaned forward. He kissed me on the forehead. He stood up. He opened up the bedroom door. He walked out. And as a 10-year-old boy, I had to reflect on that question. Victim or victor? Victim or victor? Leaders, if I have not yet rocked you to sleep, it means that this is a question many of us are dealing with right now in our own walk, whether it's in your own life because you were burned, one of your family members, a spouse, a partner, a child, a parent, maybe a coworker, a neighbor, somebody that you love was burned. Shall we remain a victim to these circumstances? And you have every right to. You have every right to. I mean, gosh, what you've been through is impossibly difficult to endure physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Or you can be a victor. You can be redeemed through this experience. You can be galvanized in your strength, in your compassion, in your empathy, in your faithfulness, and your ability to move forward into the possibility of your life. And it's your choice. And you are not alone. If I can help guide you from that shift, from being a victim to a victor, I'm here for you. Like anything I can do, I'm in. I'm all in. You go to the website right now. You can go to readinawe.com. That's one easy one to remember where you can track me down. Readinawe.com. Readinawe.com. Or visit me at johnolearyinspires.com. But I'm here for you. There were so many individuals who supported me. I could never have done what we were able to do in our lives without the support of community. So if I can become part of your community now, I'm in. I'm all in. So victors, that's what you are, victors. I'm looking forward to doing life with you. Go to johnolearyinspires.com if I can be of any encouragement in any way for you. So for this time and until next time, my name is John O'Leary. This is your day. Stay a victor, and live inspired.